Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and in today's video we are going to be doing another stimulus update for those on different Social Security programs such as survivors, retirement, and disability, as well as an update for railroad retirees and veterans. Now, per usual, before I get into this video, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of getting this video out to other viewers like you. In addition to that, also, if you wouldn't mind, drop a comment in the comment section below, letting me and others know whether or not you've received your stimulus check yet. It really just creates a good conversation and lets other people know that, hey, maybe I'm not the only one who hasn't received my stimulus check yet. Now, before I continue on with the latest updated payment dates in this video, per usual, I'm going to quickly just go over some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. So the first two comments kind of relate to the IRS hotline that they set up, where you're supposed to be able to call them and ask any questions that you may have as far as your stimulus payment goes. So the first question that I received was from Richard, and Richard says, "Still nothing. People, don't bother with the economic impact surge phone line. I finally got through after trying for 2 days. The lady came on the line and said she could only answer general questions. Nothing specific to the person. They don't even want to know your name." So obviously Richard had a very poor experience with the IRS hotline, and basically to him it really wasn't worth it. They didn't even ask for his name. They didn't want to know any type of information. And when he got off the phone, he really didn't learn anything new. So basically he just wasted a lot of time, and he's kind of saying that it's not really worth it even trying to call the IRS. Now, I did receive another comment, and that was from Andrew. And Andrew says, "Good morning, Josh. Thank you for your courage, man. I got through the IRS and they told me that I will be receiving my check on June 8th. Thank you so much and keep up the good work." All right, so according to Andrew, he tells a completely different story than what Richard told. In Andrew's case, he was actually able to get through the line, and he was luckily able to get through to someone who was extremely helpful to him, and he even left the phone call with receiving a payment date, which is very good news. I was curious to see if he would get on the Get My Payment portal, if it would then update to that date, or maybe if the payment portal hasn't yet updated. But according to Andrew, he was able to successfully call someone, and whoever he got in contact with, it seems like they were incredibly helpful. So it could be that some IRS agents are perhaps better than others. However, that's not saying that if you do call the IRS that you for sure will receive a payment date, but it seems that in Andrew's case, he was able to find someone helpful enough, and he left the phone call receiving a payment date, and he came away very, very happy. If you would like to reach out to the IRS hotline to ask a question about these economic impact payments, the number you could call would be 1-800-919-9835. All right, moving right along to the next question I received was from Nelson. He says, "I received Social Security retirement benefits via direct deposit each month. No stimulus check as of yet. I've tried numerous times to check via Get My Payment website, and it always says info not available." All right, thank you so much for that question, Nelson. So unfortunately, whenever you go to check the Get My Payment portal, sometimes it will have that annoying message of payment status not available. The IRS did make clear recently that whenever you go to the Get My Payment page and you receive the payment status not available, that simply means that the IRS has not yet scheduled a delivery date for your payment. It doesn't mean that you're ineligible to receive the payment. It doesn't mean that you're not going to receive the payment. It simply means that the IRS has not scheduled a delivery date. They're just incredibly slow. So in the meantime, we just have to continue to be patient, and we can check the Get My Payment portal every single day. Remember, they only update the Get My Payment portal once every single day. So there's no need to drive yourself crazy and continue refreshing the page over and over throughout the day, because it's only going to update once per day. Next question that I received is from Bo. He says, "Hey Josh, my name is Bo. I am on SSDI and I have not received my payment yet. The stress is horrible. Do you know when I could get my payment?" All right, thank you so much for that question, Bo. And I'm incredibly sorry that it's taking such a long time for you to receive your payment. Since you are on SSDI, the IRS began sending out payments for people on SSDI the week of May 1st, and they're sending these out every single week in waves. So Just because you haven't yet been included does not mean that you're ineligible. They're definitely going to eventually get to you as long as you don't owe any type of child support and as long as you're not being claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax returns. So in the meantime, you just have to continue to be patient. My recommendation would be to just continue to check the Get My Payment portal every single day. And in the meantime, until they have a scheduled delivery date, you'll continue getting the payment status not available page, but eventually you will receive a delivery date. So hang in there. Eventually you will receive a delivery date, but in the meantime, just continue to check the payment portal every single day. All right, so the next question today is from Alvin. He says, "Hey Josh, I receive SSDI and VA benefits. My wife and I filed jointly. She worked. Long story short, she received a $1,200 payment, but I received nothing. Any advice?" All right, thank you so much for that question, Alvin. So since you are receiving SSDI and VA benefits, that's why they're splitting up your check where your wife is receiving a $1,200 payment and you're actually going to be receiving an extra $1,200 payment yourself. And this is a payment that you're definitely going to receive. In the meantime, I would just continue to check the payment portal every single day. And as long as you don't owe any type of child support, like I said before, and you're not being claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax returns, which I believe you're not according to what you're writing to me. So you're definitely eligible and you'll definitely receive the payment. Just continue to check the payment portal every single day and eventually you will receive a date. All right, so the next question today is from Crazy for Boxes saying, "I would like to know what the envelope looks like that the stimulus letter or check looks like. I have informed delivery and I have placed a hold on my mail because my mail carrier sometimes puts my mail in someone else's mailbox." And that is a really good question, and I'm so glad that you mentioned informed delivery because this is a really good service that the US Post Office has set up. And for anyone who is expecting a check in the mail from the IRS for these stimulus payments, I would strongly encourage you to set up informed delivery. You can do that for free online. What this service does is basically every single day it'll send you an email letting you know which packages you have in the mail, which letters you have in the mail. That way you'll know what's coming in the mail that day, and if it's something that's not so important, then maybe that day you just won't go out and check your mail. And of course, if you see that your stimulus payment is out there waiting for you in the mail that day, that would be a day that obviously you would want to go outside and check your mail. So as far as your question goes, I'm going to go ahead and upload a photo that I saw online from someone else that shows a picture of the stimulus check envelope. Now, I would expect for it to say US Treasury on the envelope. However, I would say that it should look pretty close to the picture that I have up on the screen right now. Next question today is from Jerome saying, "Are we going to get a second stimulus check?" And as of right now, there are several different proposed bills being talked about, and there is something called the HEROES Act that has officially passed the House of Representatives. But in order for this proposed bill to actually become a law where we would all be receiving more stimulus payments, which would be awesome, I mean, I would love that, it would still need to pass the Senate and then be signed by the president for this to become a law. Unfortunately, it is pretty widely known that the Senate is going to strike this down just because they don't like everything that's in the bill. So the Democrats and the Republicans are really going to have to work together to get anything more passed. As of right now, Mitch McConnell just sort of wants to see how the economy bounces back with these stimulus payments, and he also wants to see how the economy does in terms of how the states are opening up, if the economy bounces back, and if we really need a second stimulus payment. So in the meantime, we'll see if they can work together to maybe get a second stimulus check passed, but as of right now, there are no second stimulus checks set to go out. All right, so the next question today is from Jason. He says, "Hey Josh, I draw SSI and SSA. I'm 35 years old and I have a payee, but I haven't received my stimulus yet. Do you think I will get my money on my Direct Express debit card or a check in the mail May 27th? Thank you so much for that question, Jason. So since you are on SSI and you do have a representative payee, the SSA.gov website did mention that those people on SSI with a representative payee would receive their payment in late May. Now, my guess is that those people on SSI with representative payees will receive their payment on May 27th, just because that's in late May, and that's also a Wednesday, which happens to be kind of like the trending payout date for where the IRS is sending these payouts. They happen to be on Wednesdays. So if it were my guess, since you are on SSI and you have a representative payee, my guess is that you will receive your stimulus payment on May 27th. I can't guarantee that, but it is my guess just going off all the information that I've seen online. All right, so the final question today is from Lori. She says, "Hey Josh, quick question. I am on SSI and I have a 17-year-old child. I don't claim her on my taxes as I am a non-filer. She, however, has worked and filed her own taxes for the last 2 years. Since she isn't claimed on anyone's taxes, will she get her own stimulus payment?" Thank you so much for that question, Lori. So in your case, since your daughter is 17 and she works full-time, she files her own taxes and you don't claim her as a dependent and no one else claims her as a dependent on their tax returns, then yes, she would definitely be eligible for a stimulus payment. What I would recommend for you to tell her to do is to go on the irs.gov website, fill out the Get My Payment portal, and see if she has received a date. All right, so that wraps up all the comments and questions that I'm going to answer in my previous video. If you have any questions I didn't answer, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Now, as far as payment dates go, they began sending out payments on May 1st for people on Social Security benefits, such as retirement, survivors, and disability, as well as railroad retirees. And they're sending those out every single week. So if you haven't received it yet, just keep checking the Get My Payment portal, and eventually you'll receive a date. If you're on SSI, they began sending out paper checks on May 15th, but they're also sending those payments out every single week as well. So just continue to check the payment portal. If you're receiving the payment status not available message, then it doesn't mean that you're ineligible. It simply means that they haven't come up with a date yet. For veterans, they began sending out checks in mid-May. Keep checking the payment portal. You'll eventually receive your date. I know it's very, very stressful and it's awful having to wait this long. I've said many, many times before that if I was in charge of sending these checks out, I would have had it out to you guys as soon as I had access to the funds. Now, as far as representative payees go, the SSA.gov website did mention that people on SSI with a representative payee should expect to receive their stimulus payment in late May. My guess, once again, will be May 27th, just because the trending date that the IRS seems to be sending out these payments are on a Wednesday, and May 27th happens to be a Wednesday. The SSA.gov website, however, did not mention a date for people on different Social Security benefits or like on SSDI. If they have a representative payee, they did not mention a date for them. I am hoping for them it's also late May and maybe they just didn't mention them in that group. But in the meantime, we'll just have to wait and see. And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this one and you would like to see more like it, subscribe to my channel. At the moment, I am making daily stimulus updates. Also, please, once again, like this video. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of getting this video out to other viewers. Share it if you like. If you have any social networks, try to get it out to people that you know who are also looking for their stimulus payment. Hopefully this video can help them as well. And until next time, I'll see you guys and I hope you have a great day today.